Hi there, everyone. It's Miss Victoria from the Ridgewood Library. I'm so glad to have you here today with me for story time. Our story time theme today is mixed up fairy tales. So this should be a lot of fun. I hope you will listen along and enjoy. So let's get started with our first story called Little Red Riding Hood and the Misread Wolf. This is written by Troy Wilson. Once there was a girl called Little Red Riding Hood. She loved red and she loved reading. And she loved the special hood her grandma had made. That's how we recognize her so well. I actually have Little Red Riding Hood with me. Here she is. She's happy you're here for our story time today. One day her grandma wasn't feeling well, so Red made a special treat for her and set off to deliver it. Along the way, she came across a wolf. He said, sniffing the air, I smell my favorite smell. Luckily, Red had read what to do if you encounter a wolf. Maintain eye contact and slowly back away. So she did. The wolf kept sniffing and moving toward her. Luckily, she had read what to do if a wolf moves toward you. Stand tall, wave your arms, clap your hands, and throw rocks. So she did. No, no, said the wolf, sniffing deeper and moving closer. Ouch, I just want, ouch. Oh, forget it, said the wolf as he slinked away. Red continued her journey. Along the way, a robin asked where she was going. Luckily, she had read what to do if a bird asks where you're going. Give a detailed description of your route while noting good spots for worms. So she did just that. Finally, Red arrived at Grandma's house. But the wolf had arrived first. Luckily, Red had read what to do if you encounter a wolf dressed as a grandparent. Just like this. Kind of looks like Grandma, but I think it's a wolf under there. Hint that you know their secret by pointing out their big features. So that's what Red Riding Hood did. What a big nose you have, she said. All the better to smell my favorite smell every smell, replied the wolf. He resisted the urge to sniff. What big ears you have, she said. All the better to hear every word. He really wanted to sniff. What big eyes you have. All the better to see every picture. He really, really wanted to sniff, though. And what big teeth you have. All the better to... He sniffed. Oh, forget it, said the wolf as he pounced. Luckily, Red had read what to do if a wolf dressed as a grandparent pounces. Shout and swing an axe. My goodness. Unluckily, she didn't have an axe, and her shouting sounded more like screaming. Red ran for the kitchen. The wolf didn't waste a second. His big jaws yanked the treat out of the basket. that new book smell, he said. It's my favorite. Now that's not what you were expecting to hear from the wolf, is it? Sniff, 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 sniff. He couldn't get enough sniffing of that book. Will you read this to me, please? Where's Grandma? Demanded Red. But I am Grandma. Where's Grandma? But no one ever reads to me, said the wolf. Will you read to me, please? She had never read What to Do If a Wolf Sniffs the Book You Made for Grandma, asks you to read it, and doesn't once try to eat you. This is not a typical wolf, is it? Not, at least not from Little Red Riding Hood that we know. But Red did know that you can't judge a book by its cover. Okay, she said, if you bring me Grandma, I will read to both of you. So the wolf brought Grandma. See, here's Grandma, all safe and sound. But somebody heard Little Red's cries, and look, a lumberjack came. And luckily, instead of anyone getting hurt or being scared anymore, they all loved to read. What a nice ending, isn't that? So I hope you enjoyed that. And I thought that we would read a nice song about friendship. It's called The More We Get Together, because that's what the book is all about. The wolf just wants to be friends and have someone to read to him, and everybody ends up reading together at the end. So they all get along and they learn that even though they are known for certain behaviors, they can actually be very nice. So like it says in the book, you can't judge a book by its cover. Don't assume that you know someone by the way they look, because looks can be deceiving. So let's sing about friends. The more we get together, okay? The more we get together, 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 the more we get together, the happier we'll be. 'Cause your friends are my friends and my friends are your friends. The more we get together, the happier we'll be. Good job. Thanks for singing along with me. And now I have another mixed up fairy tale for you. This one is called Falling for Rapunzel, and I think it's very silly. Once upon a bad hair day, a prince rode up Rapunzel's way. From up above he heard her whine. Upset her hair had lost its shine. He thought her crying was a plea and sallied forth to set her free. There's very colorful illustrations. Alas, she was too far away to quite make out what he would say. Rapunzel, Rapunzel, throw down your hair. She thought he said, your underwear. So silly. No, Rapunzel, your curly locks. Rapunzel threw down dirty socks instead. How silly. Please, love, just your silky tresses. She thought he asked for silky dresses. In lace and frills up to his head, the prince's cheeks were blushing red. Rapunzel, do you have a rope? He was kind of embarrassed that she was throwing down underwear and socks and clothes. That's not what he was asking for. Rapunzel dropped a cantaloupe next instead of rope. Oh boy. It burst in pieces on the prince's head. Oh, bad catch, Rapunzel said. Perhaps he sighed, this is a test, and bound by love, he did not rest. didn't give up. Okay, Rapunzel, how about twine? So twine is another word for rope. Maybe not quite as thick. But guess what she did? She heaved out her blue ribbon swine. That is another word for pig. By now the prince was feeling hammered, not to mention less enamored. He growled up, "Do you have a ladder?" He was getting a little bit annoyed at this point. Rapunzel tossed out pancake batter. It covered him from head to toe. She yelled to him, "It's better cooked, you know." At this, the poor prince had a cry, then cupped his hands for one last try. "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your braids." Confused, Rapunzel pushed out her maid. Oh no! She's not hearing things quite right. Everything rhymes, but it's not exactly what the prince is meaning to say. The maid fell squarely on the prince, quite pleased with this coincidence. She nimbly jumped up off his lap and soon revived the flattened chap. Then smiling said, "For what it's worth, you'll find that I'm really down to earth." His young heart thrilled. He gave a hoot. For what was more, the maid was cute. She set the prince upon his steed, then leapt behind with graceful speed, and leaning close so he could hear, she whispered something in his ear. "I fell for you when we first met." He nodded. "How could I forget?" Well, all of these events are certainly unforgettable, I would say. Some things work out for a reason, though. So, Rapunzel watched them ride from sight. "I'm glad I finally heard him right." "I hope if they come back for more, they'll think to knock on my back door." That would have been a lot easier in the first place, wouldn't it have been? But then they wouldn't have had such a silly adventure. So that's what makes the book fun. So this was a great book by Leah Wilcox. I hope you enjoyed that. So I think that since it was a happy ending at the end of the book, that it would be fun to sing "If You're Happy and You Know It," because it turned out the prince and the maid were very happy at the end. And Rapunzel, maybe a little bit confused, seemed okay. So let's sing. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it and you really want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. I'm going to use my hands for my feet. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it and you really want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're happy and you know it, shout hooray, hooray. If you're happy and you know it, shout hooray, hooray. If you're happy and you know it and you really want to show it. If you're happy and you know it, shout hooray, hooray. Good job, everyone. Thanks for singing along with me. That was so much fun. And now I have one more book to end off our mixed up fairy tale story time for today. This one is called Interrupting Chicken. This is written by David Ezra Stein. I hope you enjoyed this one too. It was bedtime for the little red chicken. "Okay, my little chicken," said Papa. "Are you all ready to go to sleep?" "Yes, Papa, but you forgot something." "What's that?" asked Papa. "A bedtime story, of course." All right, said Papa, I'll read one of your favorites. And of course, you are not going to interrupt the story tonight, are you? Oh no, Papa, I'll be good. It sounds like maybe that's a pattern that he has, is interrupting the story. Let's see what happens. Hansel and Gretel is the story that Papa decided to read. Hansel and Gretel were very hungry. Deep in the woods, they found a house made of candy. Nibble, nibble, nibble. They began to eat the house until the old woman who lived there came out and said, "What lovely children! Why don't you come inside?" They were just about to follow her when, let's see what happens. Out jumped a little red chicken and said, "Don't go in, she's a witch." So Hansel and Gretel didn't, and that was the end of the story. Oh boy. Chicken? Yes, Papa. You interrupted the story. Try not to get so involved. I'm sorry, Papa, but she really was a witch. Well, you're supposed to be relaxing so you can fall asleep. Let's try another story. I'll be good. Little Red Riding Hood. Now this sounds familiar. Take this basket of goodies to Grandma, said Little Red Riding Hood's mother. But don't stray from the path. The woods are full of danger. Red Riding Hood skipped along through the deep woods. By and by she met a wolf who wished her good morning. She was about to answer him when all of a sudden, out jumped a little red chicken and she said, "Don't talk to strangers." So Little Red Riding Hood didn't. The end. Chicken? Yes, Papa. You did it again. You interrupted 2 stories, and you're not even sleepy. I know, Papa, I'm sorry, but he was a mean old wolf. Yes, now get back into bed. Okay, Papa, let's try one more little story, and I'll be good. This one is called Chicken Little. Well, that seems like a good choice from the little red chicken. Chicken Little was hit on the head by an acorn. The sky is falling, she thought. She was about to run off and warn Goosey Lucy, Ducky Lucky, Henny Penny, and everyone on the farm the sky was falling, when out jumped a little red chicken. And she said, "Don't panic. It was just an acorn." So Chicken Little didn't. The end. Chicken. Yes, Papa. You did it again. Oh, Papa, I couldn't let that little chicken get all upset over an acorn. Please read one more story, and I promise I'll fall asleep. But Chicken, said Papa, we're out of stories. Oh, no, Papa, I can't go to sleep without a story. Then said Papa, oh, why don't you tell me a story? Me tell a story, said the little red chicken. Okay, Papa, here we go. Let's see. Bedtime for Papa by Chicken. Once there was a little red chicken who put her papa to bed. She read him 100 stories. She even gave him warm milk, but nothing worked. He stayed wide awake. I think there was a change in the story. Sounds like there's some snoring going on. That doesn't sound like something from someone who's awake. Papa? Look, Papa's sleeping. He's catching some Z's, another way to say snoring. Do you see the letter Z there? That means he's sleeping, and look, his eyes are closed. Good night, Papa. And that was the end. And look, little red chicken fell asleep beside Papa. Finally. After all that interrupting, she got tired too. So to end off our story time, I thought we would sing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. I have a nice twinkly little star here. And since Little Red Chicken read a nice bedtime story to Papa, I think this is a perfect song to end off our story time. All right, let's sing it. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Good job. Thank you for singing with me. I look forward to seeing you for our next story time. In the meantime, keep reading, enjoying those stories, and I will see you soon.